Hello friends and welcome to another video lesson from DBOS Talks. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified of new uploads. The video is in a playlist called Linux Tutorial, and here we'll be learning about the RM command in Linux, which is to remove or delete a file. So RM, always written in lowercase rm, is short for remove, and again, it's used for deleting files or even contents in folders and subfolders or directories. So the syntax in Linux is not so complicated. You have a rm and then the file name. Of course, you can add options in there, which could be like you will have a hyphen, something like this, R, and then the file name. But we can talk about that in some other subsequent videos. But for now, let's just focus on getting you the basics. If you will backtrack and take a look at my previous videos, you will notice that we're building, preparing, laying the groundwork, getting you familiar with the most commonly used shell commands in Linux so that this can become part of your tools. Okay, so let's just get into it. Note the rm command is I'll just put it in here. The rm command, the remove command in Linux, is a very dangerous one. Why is that? It's because the nature of things in Linux as well as in Unix is that if you delete a file or a directory, there is no way you can recover it. You cannot do Control Z, you cannot do an undo for that. There is no undo. The only thing you can do an undo in Linux is within an application such as, let's say you're using VI, which is the text editor of Linux, then you can do an undo of that. That's text editing, but that's a different conversation. But we're talking about issuing and executing OS level commands, then there is no undo for that. Okay, so just take note of that. So how do you get around it? To knowing that there is no undo for a remove command, the best that you can do is to uh, before removing something, you can do a list. You can do a list long of the file pattern you're looking at. So right now we are at this location /home/dbos/xser, and we can see after doing a listing without any parameters whatsoever that these are the files that are found in this directory. Okay, so a couple of them, some CSV, some text. Take note that in Linux, it is not like Windows wherein we go by file name dot extension. In Linux, it's not mandatory, and it doesn't mean that a file ends in CSV, it's a CSV file. Somebody can just create any file and call it and give it any kind of extension, and it may not mean that that file is such. Okay. Okay, so let's just start by with this example, deleting a single file. So that would be the most straightforward, easiest way of deleting a file, and that is assuming that you know exactly the file name and you know exactly its location. Location, I mean where it's located within the directory tree of the Linux file system. So if we're very sure about the file's name and especially if we're at its directory, at its current directory, in this case, I'm at this directory, then we can do a straightforward deletion of the file. But again, knowing that we cannot do an undo of a deletion, which is dangerous, so we can do a listing first. So in this case, I wanted to rm to remove a file called sometextfile.txt, but I wanted to make sure it's there. I will not inadvertently or accidentally delete some other file. So I just want to make sure it's the one that I really wanted to delete. So I can, with this list long command, I have been able to verify that the file is indeed there. So I can just proceed and what I did was I checked its existence and seeing that there are no duplicates whatsoever, and using the parameter which I have specified in the list long command, I am using that same file name in my rm command. So I wanted to remove this. Okay. So you will not see a message which tells you it has been successfully deleted, but you can verify that by reissuing or re-executing the list long command, which is this one. Okay, list long. And if we have successfully deleted the file, then the output of this should be blank, should be nothing. Okay, okay, not exactly blank, but it will tell you no such file or directory, meaning we have successfully deleted that file with the action of this rm command over here. Okay, so that is the first example we have looked at as far as the rm command is concerned. Okay, the next we're going to be looking at is this one, using a wildcard character, which we have talked about and shown you in previous videos. And using a wildcard character during the deletion, and the delete is based on a file name's last few characters. Okay, so the wildcard character in Linux is the same as in Windows, and indeed, in fact, it came from Unix first. So in this case, I wanted to delete files that are ending in .csv. Okay, so to be very safe, I just want to make a listing of that first to make sure I'll be deleting the ones that I really need to delete, not some other files that are not within my scope. Okay, so with that execution, I can see there are two files ending in .csv extension. And so if I'm glad with that, if that's really the correct one I need to delete, then I will go ahead and do an rm and just reuse the same file patterns I am using here. So this is the wildcard character in case you have missed that in the previous video. And what it means is that the wildcard character, the asterisk means anything or nothing, meaning it could be any character or even no character. Okay, so in this case, with the output of the ls long, we are sure that if we issue an rm command, remove, using this pattern over here, it will only delete these two files. Okay, so remove. And if we wanted to verify, again, we will just re-execute the list long command. And what it will give us is that it will complain that those two files are not existing anymore. Okay, no such file or directory matching this pattern. All right. So we have seen two examples so far. The next we're going to be looking at is this, also still using the wildcard character, but this time the deletion is based on the file name's first few characters, not last few, but first few characters. Okay. So in this case, again, to be on the safe side before doing a deletion, I'll be issuing a list long command. So ls-l file, uppercase F, and then followed by an asterisk, meaning all files that begin with this string file with a capital F and followed by anything or even nothing. When I say nothing, it could even be the file name capital F-I-L-E. Nothing follows. Okay, let's just see what it has. So we can see two files matching that pattern, file2.txt, txt, and file3.txt. Okay, so now if we're fine with that, are really the two files we wanted to delete in the first place, then we can go ahead and do a remove or an rm of the same pattern. rm file asterisk, the asterisk being a wildcard character. Okay, so and then if we wanted to verify, we will again execute the list long command, and it should tell us that no such file is found that is matching this pattern. Okay, no such file or directory. So we have seen so far three examples in the usage of the rm command, which is for removing or deleting files. Okay, the final example we're gonna be looking at is this one. We'll delete using a relative path, something that we have talked about in a previous video. So you have absolute path, which is the full path of a file or to a file, which starts at the root directory, which is a slash. This one is relative path. Okay, so I wanted to delete a file called this. It's called some text file. .txt, and I'm using relative path, meaning relative to the current directory I'm in, I'm actually going straight there using relative path as well as an environment variable, which is $home. So we also have talked about it briefly, Linux variables, and we will touch more on this on some other videos. But just know that I'm using an ls-l, ls-l command, which is do detail listing. And then the parameter I'm passing to it is contains a relative path, this time using the environment variable home, and dollar, as far as Linux variables are concerned, is used to get the value of a variable. So home, capital Home, is an environment variable in Linux. Okay, it's another topic we can talk about in great detail in some other video. So I wanted to delete this file called somtextfile.txt, and it's located at $home. So it is found as shown by the output of the list long command. So I can just do the deletion as per this. So I will just follow the same parameter, or reuse the same parameter I have used in the list long command. So rm $home slash and then the file name. Okay, so no errors there, meaning it was successful, but we can verify by doing reissuing or re-executing the list long command. And it will show us, it should tell us that no such file has been found, is being found. Okay, so we've done that. We have seen the rm command in action. Again, in some other video, we can talk about the most common options used in the rm command, such as the recursive, -r, etc. But for now, you have seen the usage of the remove command in removing a single file, multiple files using wildcard character in different positions at the beginning or at the start. You can put it in the middle, you can put it in multiple positions in within the file name. Okay, we also looked at an example wherein we used relative path as well as an environment variable. Thank you for watching and listening. If you have subscribed yet, please click subscribe and click the bell. I'll be seeing you in the next video.